Well, the movie starts with a lot of stuff floating in a kind of void, and it feels like a roller coaster or something. Then, Doctor Strange and a girl are running away from something. Oh god, it's a horrible monster. So, Doctor Strange throws an ice power, but it's not too effective. Maybe because the monster is a fighting or steel type. Who knows? Ugh. So, the monster appears in front of them, so they fight. But then, Doctor Strange tries to catch it in a Pokeball, I guess. But the doctor has quite a huge wound, and it looks terrible. Way to catch 'em all, man. Then the doctor takes out a vital power from the girl without her consent, because he says it's the only way. Kids don't take notes. But when he sings a memorable speech about sacrificing and I don't know what, BAM! The monster cuts through him. But the monster catches the girl too, so she screams and a star portal appears. So Doctor Strange throws another energy blast to let the girl go, and both escapes through the portal. Then Doctor wakes up and oh, it was just one of those wet dreams we all have every now and then, eh? But he has a laptop next to him. Was he sleeping during work or... Oh no, that just confirms the wet dream. Absolutely. Well, he picks up a broken clock because even a broken clock is right twice a day. I guess? Nah, I don't think so. Anyway, he dresses up and goes to a wedding and some random guy sits down next to him and says, "Haven't seen you for a while." And he talks about how he lost his 2 cats and his brother, and man, we're at a wedding, we're supposed to have fun and celebrate, not talk about your dead cats. Luckily, the bride enters and the doctor watches her all emotionally like he's in real pain. But how can he know about pain if he never knew the pain of losing 2 cats? So, he's drinking to drown his miseries, but the bride, whose name's Christine, appears and doctor turns a drink into wine? Is he Jesus? Man, I'd love that superpower. Huh. Then the bride's about to bring the groom, but doctor apologizes, saying he wished things had been different and that he had to make sacrifices and all those silly regrets that one confesses when it's already too late. But the bride says, "It was never gonna work between us."
Emotional damage!
Well, doctor says he's glad to see her happy anyways, but suddenly, there seem to be some issues in the street, so the doctor finishes his drink like a total hardcore, jumps from the balcony. Well, I do the same when I drink too much, so he puts his cape on and flies away. Side note, I don't do that. Then there's a car about to crash a lady and her baby, but the doctor opens a portal and a dimensional creature eats the car. That's awesome! Then we discover the chaos is made by a huge creature that looks like a biblical accurate angel. So he fights the beast and rescues a girl, which turns out is the girl from his dream. Then a ninja with a whip appears too, but he's caught by the monster and the girl is thrown to a tall building. Man, this escalated so quickly. Then the monster climbs to catch the girl, but the doctor creates 2 giant gloves that throw a lamppost at the monster and takes its eye away. God, this seems a total mess, to be honest. Like, poor eye. Once the mess is over, Wong the ninja and Doctor Strange ask the girl who she is and why the monster was following her. Then the doctor asks why she was in his dream, and the girl says that the dream wasn't a dream, but in another universe. And doctor puts a weird face as if he doesn't know what she's talking about. Come on, man. You just killed a giant octopus cyclops from another dimension with your giant magic gloves. Do you think that's strange? Or you happen to be Doctor Strange because you find everything strange? Then they talk about the multiverse and Spider-Man and whether Spider-Man throws spiderweb through his butt or not. Seriously, I didn't make this up, but like, does he? Then the girl says she's from a different universe and talks in Spanish and then says the monster was not trying to eat, but kidnap her. So, Doctor Strange does that strange face once again. The girl says the monster was trying to take her powers to travel through the multiverses, and this is just the most casual conversation to have in a cafe. The girl says she cannot control her powers, it only happens when she's afraid. Then talks about a magical book of pure goodness, but the doctor says it's just myth. So Wong answers that it's not, and then the doctor once again does that weird face. The doctor is still dubious about the dream being real, so what does the girl do? She shows him his own corpse. Yeah, then Doctor Strange was like, "It wasn't a dream." No, of course, it wasn't. She said that 100 times. Anyway, how did she take the corpse? Like she walked through the city and climbed the roof of a building with a dead body and said, "Oh no, it's just my baggage." It makes no sense. Well, what's relevant here is that they realize that dreams and nightmares are real, and they're part of the multiverse. So when someone dreams about dying, it's because they died in a different universe. Cool. Then after 5 hours of fighting dimensional creatures, talking about universal travel and seeing corpses, Wong finally asks the girl her name, and she says, America Chavez. Then Wong discovers that the monsters are witchcraft creations or something. Then the scene switches to a mother with her children, and aw, it's such a sweet scene. Oh, that was a dream too. Then she's with Doctor Strange, who asks her for help because that woman is the Scarlet Witch and was a former Avenger. Then she releases a kind of red fog and turns everything into Chernobyl 2, and there's a floating book, which is the Darkhold, a magic book that's full of evil or something similar. I guess the book is like Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey, something catastrophic, you know? So the witch says she wants to leave this reality to move to one so she can meet the children that were in her dream, and for that she needs Chavez's powers. Then the doctor and the gang are at a temple discussing what to do with the witch. They all agree they have to arm themselves to the teeth and wait for her, I guess. Then a green minotaur appears. Is that Beast Boy from Teen Titans? Is that you? Well, the witch appears in the end and tries to injure Doctor Strange, but there is a huge energy shield protecting the temple, so the Scarlet Witch enters the brain of a warrior and makes him run away, so the shield opens and the witch throws a red laser. Then you have explosions and arrows, and man, some minutes ago she and Doctor Strange were talking peacefully in a green field. What the hell happened? Anyway, the witch manages to get America, but she opens a portal and she and Doctor Strange fall through it. Then they shatter dimension through dimension until they land in another New York City full of flowers and nature. Then the doctor vomits. Nice. We also discover that the dimension they're in doesn't have another Chavez version, which means she's the only one and single person in the whole entire infinite universe who can travel through dimensions. Nice curriculum. Well, but that also means that if she dies, then so long, Doctor Strange, you're trapped there forever. Cool. So, both go to look for the other Doctor Strange of that dimension, then America disappears, and Doctor Strange is about to freak out and die of a brain embolism, but oh, there she is. Okay, alright, little shit. Then the Doctor steps on a memory lane kind of thing of that dimension, and he sees himself receiving the watch we saw at the beginning of the movie, and he gets sad and is about to cry, but he leaves. Then America steps in too and sees a memory from her natal dimension, and she sees herself when she was young with her two mothers. But suddenly a bee scares her, so she opened up a portal, and she and her mothers disappeared. Like, we weren't expecting that at all, but come on, that's literally the worst plot twist ever. Couldn't you come up with something better? Anything. Then, they pop into a Doctor Strange statue of the Doctor Strange from that dimension, and there's a sign that says that Doctor Strange died fighting Thanos. Then Mordo opens up a door, but this one's the Mordo from a different dimension, remember. And blood's about to run, but oh, good, Mordo's hugging Doctor Strange, and it seems they're friends in this universe. Mordo says they have a Darkhold too in that dimension, and that the Darkhold of the original dimensions has a spell to possess people from different dimensions, and the fire's candles are put out, and it's like super creepy, and the Doctor stands up and realizes he's high because the tea had some drugs. Oh, and America faints as well. Then the Scarlet Witch possesses her other version to see her kids, but back in the temple, a woman jumps right into the book and stabs it, so the witch comes back to reality. She's mad as hell, but she discovers there's a copy of the book. Back to the Doctor. He wakes up and has a new watch. Is it the Omnitrix? Oh no, they're just two bracelets that prevent the Doctor from using his powers. But what happens next? Oh, there's another version of Christine, the woman the Doctor was in love with. So, he tries to convince her to let them out, but Mordo appears with a bunch of Robo-Cops? What's that? Then the witch takes Wong to the mountains for a beautiful stroll to talk about their feelings and stuff. Nah, she forces him to go and get the book. But some monsters appear, and when they're about to kill them all, they reverence her, believing she's a queen, I guess. Back to the army of robots, they take the Doctor to someplace, and Mordo presents him with the Avengers of that reality. Cool. Anyway, they're a bit mad at him because his presence destabilizes their reality, and if too many changes occur, both dimensions could collide, so it's like those times they sent you to the director's room at school, isn't it? Then, oh god, Billy Corgan appears. Oh no, it's just Professor Charles, and he says that their Doctor Strange actually didn't die fighting Thanos, but when everything starts getting interesting, bam, switch of scene again. The witch and Wong are talking, but the witch hits Wong and throws him out of the temple to a pit. Damn, poor Wong. So the witch meditates and returns to the dimension where she's the mother of two kids. Back again. Gosh, so many switches. Give me headaches. Back again to the Doctor and the Avengers. Well, we discover the other Doctor Strange tried to use the power of the Darkhold to destroy Thanos, but instead he triggered an incursion of a universe and destroyed it. So the Avengers had to kill their Doctor Strange, but all of a sudden the witch interrupts the beautiful story, appearing in the headquarters and starts fighting off the robots and making a huge mess. What will happen? Well, luckily, Charles is rad as hell, and he decides Doctor Strange should be free to help them fight the witch. Like, Charles is that father-in-law we all want to have, right? Right? Then the witch kills the Black Bolt and makes spaghetti out of the Elastic Man, then kills Captain Carter with her own shield and throws a statue at Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange tells Mordo he was probably the one behind the other Doctor assassination in order to make himself the real sorcerer, so they fight and the Doctor escapes. Then the bald, handicapped Charles gets into the mind of the witch, and we see him opening a door, and I cannot help but hear a break gone through by the doors while this is happening. Well, Charles tries to rescue the real mother of the children, so the witch stops taking control of her, but the witch appears anyway and bam, kills Charles too. But while the witch was distracted, Chavez and Christine escaped and met with the Doctor. The Doctor tries to open the door, but he can't, so Christine gives him the broken watch, and it's like heartwarming or heartbreaking, I'm not sure, moment, because it's like a metaphor for when the other Christine gave the Doctor a watch, and well, why am I even reflecting upon this? I'm not here to talk about fucking metaphors. The watch works, and they open the door to get the book. They get it, but the witch takes Chavez and uses her powers to open different portals. So, she gets the Doctor and Christine to one dimension, then throws Chavez to the original dimension where the original Scarlet Witch was controlling everything. Man, this is such a mess. It's easier watching than analyzing this thing. Then it is back to the Doctor and Christine, where they're at a shattering dimension where everything's cold and wet, so they decide to find yet another Doctor Strange. Please, stop with this! Well, the Doctor finds the other Doctor, and they have a little conversation. It reminds me of the nights when I'm alone with my thoughts, talking to myself about all the stupid things I did in the past, and every regret and shameful memory I got, and... Okay, now it's starting to hurt anyway. Anyway, of course, nothing turns out to be fine, and the Doctor of this dimension is kind of evil and says he'll help our Doctor only if he gives him Christine. And our Doctor is like, nuh-uh, no way. So they fight, throwing musical notes at each other, and our Doctor wins by throwing his other version out of the window and impaling him on a spiky fence. Gross. But no, he opens his third eye. Then back to Wong, who turns out was actually alive, even though we thought he was long ago gone from this world. Meanwhile, the witch is taking America's power away from her. Now again, back to the Doctor. And why the hell do they have to switch scene from scene so much? That's it. I'm studying film direction to know the reason behind it. Maybe it's not to bore the audience. I really don't know. It really doesn't matter, because here's the coolest scene of the entire movie. The Doctor uses the book to control another him from a different dimension. And who's that Doctor? The Doctor that died at the very beginning of the movie in the dream. The dead Doctor that Chavez bought. So goddamn cool. Unfortunately, some entities try to stop him, but Christine fights back and burns the demons away. So the Doctor regains control of the spirits and uses them to fly to the temple where the Scarlet Witch is trying to take Chavez's powers out. This is a rather cool fight, to be honest. The zombie Doctor fighting with a shield of lost souls, trying to make it cooler, eh? I dare you. Well, he and Wong capture the witch, and the Liu Kang zombie from Mortal Kombat Armageddon wakes up Chavez. Then putrid and rotten, he's still in the mood of giving an inspirational speech to the girl, saying that she has the ultimate control over her powers and blah blah blah. You know, the same inspirational speech in every Hollywood superhero movie. So what happens? Chavez fails to use her powers and everyone dies. Nah, of course I'm lying. She trusts in herself and punches the face of Scarlet Witch, then opens a portal and sends the witch to the dimension where the children are watching TV. And here's a tough to watch scene where the children try to protect their real mother, and they throw things at the witch, which breaks her heart because, let's not forget, the entire plot of the movie revolves around the witch trying to meet these kids. So the kids are scared. The witch cries and finally realizes everything she's done was futile, except for the fact that the movie wouldn't have a plot. Chavez and Wong escape to their dimension, and the witch brings the building down, crushing her, and the Doctor is a zombie. Then there's an emotional scene with the Doctor and Christine where they say goodbye to each other, but the Doc confesses his love for her, but there's no kisses, so I guess it was kinda futile? Well, anyway, they're back in the temple, everyone's practicing their magic, including Chavez, and when the Doctor is about to leave, Chavez appears, and she says she's glad that she appeared in that universe, so the Doctor says, so am I. Aw, such a sweet friendship. Finally, the movie ends with the Doctor changing the broken glass of the watch with a brand new one, then keeping the watch in a box and going out for a walk. But suddenly, bam, he has a stroke or something, falls in the middle of the street, and he screams, and the third eye comes out of his forehead, and that's it. Seriously, the end of the movie. I don't think that's gonna age well, to be honest.